Oh, yes, we are. Health, Wealth, and Happiness, Season 5, Session 6. Let's rock it out. I'm hoping to make this a yearly series so we can continue to grow together, to architect the plan for living a fully vibrant, loved, enjoyed, peaceful, freeing life. How does that sound? So my question right out of the gate is, as you think this through, is do you have a plan that you've architected that reviews how you schedule your week, how you schedule your days, and the things that you want to do to feel the vibrance, the connection, the joy of life? Do you have an architected plan for how to feel your best life? If your answer is no, you're in the right place. We're going to go through and break down exactly what it's taken me now a decade to get masterful with. I would have to say that I'm getting masterful with it, that I'm not masterful with it all the way. It's kind of like perfection. We can never be perfect, but we can aim for it, get there, co-create, and go after it. So I'm going to share tools, techniques, apps, things that I'm using that really help me feel the connected, joyful, best energy I've ever felt in my life. And yes, I just turned 50. And I'm saying the best energy in my life. Like, what? It's so gold. So I just want to make sure you're walking away after our training today with exactly what's working for me. And I'll share illustrations because I coach so many people who share, they'll self-report out, this is working for me, Char. This is going what I'm going after. And this is how it's helped me feel better, be better, do better. And we'll crush this together. So if you don't have your notes out, get your notes out. Let's rock this out. Today's topic, a week and day in the life of ... 2022 edition. Like I said, I want to make this a yearly thing. For starters, we ask the question why. What is a fully lived life? I love to reflect on it through the lens of the 5 Ps. If you've been with us, you know these Ps. Let's go through them real quick. Start with our perspective of why we do what we do. First one is purpose. To feel purpose in life is one of the big things so many people report as to feeling a fully connected, joyful life, to feel passion, to feel positive, good energy on an enduring basis. Recognize that some people, we have bad days and bad moments. Highest performers, though, they have bad moments. They don't have bad days, and here's why. We have got a very clear and documented, again, coming back to the notes in the journal. For me, it's Apple Notes. As you know, I switched from Evernote, or if you don't know, I switched from Evernote to Apple Notes. It's on all my devices. I use that like, oh my gosh. Someday I may run a class just on how I use Apple Notes. We kind of did that with how I take notes, but really to show the different segments and all the things that I'm going after. If, by the way, you'd like me to do that, let me know. Concept's really clear here. To live into these Ps, passion, positivity, purpose, productivity, even profit, we have to be really clear and energized towards those ends. Does that make sense? So I would love to know, as you think about the last month, what's one thing you've done that's felt purposeful? If you're watching this live or you're watching the replay, please comment below. What's one thing you've done in the last month to feel purposeful? And I'll cough one up for you. The thing that I've done in the last month to feel purposeful is this training, is the training we're going to do in a little bit for business mastery, is the word is training, is the cryptocurrency training that I've done for this month, is the Create Success for Life podcast. So 4 different trainings are going out. 3 of them are monthly. 1 of them is weekly. Lucas and I have finally kicked off our Create Success for Life training, podcast, and baseline level of helping people step up and grow fast in life. If you're watching this with our mastery community, you're on the Grow Faster plan because we're really helping each other out at the community level in our sacred space. If you're working with me one-on-one as a high-performance coach arrangement, you're on the Grow Fastest plan. Got links to all that below. But to feel purposeful for me, it's creating training. To help you improve your life somehow, hopefully you're already sensing it, to help you really go after, if this is a desire for you, growing your business somehow too. And I think we're crushing that. Just on the feedback. Not to be braggadocious, but people are sharing, Char, the things you've helped me with have really propelled me to move faster than what I thought I could. To think around corners I didn't know I needed to see. So here's the aim for us today, is to assure what we cover here lives into and amplifies these 5 P's. So we covered purpose. Let's get into passion. What's one thing you've done in the last month that ignited you, that impassioned you, that got you connected, enthusiastic, joyful? Want me to share? That one thing is creating this training. Going through and thinking this through. I was out on my run over the week going, all right, let's bounce that around. What apps am I using? What's the tools? What's going to be of most benefit? What's the illustrations that would be of most benefit? It's creating this training. That's ignited me. Next up is positivity. What's one thing you've done in the last month that's helped you feel a higher level of good, positive, healthy energy? What's one thing that you've done to feel a heightened level of good, positive, healthy energy? Thing that's coming to my mind is I ran my 5K beginning of this week. I ran it to the podcast with Tim Ferriss, Naval, and Chris. And I'll make sure to link to that below. That I just wanted to keep running, which for me running, I do run and I like running, but I was like, keep running? Who am I? What's going on? That was it. Fueling my brain with something so powerful and just very, very future oriented. I was like, oh, this is me at my best. That's the positive piece. Fourth, productive. Tell me something you've done or you've created in the last month that you feel is incredibly productive. Would love to hear it. Comment below if you're watching the replay or you're watching this live. What is one thing you've done to feel productive? For me, it's spending quality time with my love, my daughters, my dad, my stepmom. They're all here this week. We've been having a blast. I've been doing my work, creating the training, going after all the requirements and coaching and all the things that I got to do, and then just taking pockets out to enjoy one-on-one connected time with full engagement. Playing Mexican train dominoes, playing blackjack, having fun, telling stories, watching Hallmarkish kind of movies. That's one of my dad's favorite things to do. These are all part of a well-designed and thought-out week. Profit. What's one thing you've done in the last month, along the lines of these other 4 Ps, that has aided creating purposeful income? Anything there for you? Is that a desire for you? If it isn't, that's totally fine. But it's part of my goal and my job on this planet. If it is a desire or goal for you, then we got stuff for you to learn and go after. We're going to create your why. We're going to create your deliverables. We're going to create your offers that deliver the deliverables, whether that's coaching, teaching, training, small business, whatever it is. Then we're going to go out and really go after leads, getting people to raise their hand and say, hey, I see you offer this. I'm interested. Can you help me out? And then creating awareness, kind of working the ALSD Bullseye, as I've taught that before. If you haven't heard of it or haven't seen it, I'll link to training on it. But the concept's really clear. If we sense more of this on an enduring basis, we feel like we've lived a more full life. That's the arc. I love the saying, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Please take notes to this. If we win the moments of our day, we win our day. If we win our day, we win our week. If we win the week, we win the month. If we win the month, we win the year, and if we win the year, we win our life. It's in the moments. What I'm going to cover today is going to give you real great catalyst with real great tactics to how I'm thinking on a moment-by-moment basis differently today than I was 11 years ago when I first started my journey in the high-performance realm. And just so you have a frame, if you're not familiar with what high performance is, it's that idea of living fully engaged, joyful, and bold, confident, enduring consistently from your best self. These things are all principles that we teach, coach, and train. If you're in our group, Mastery Community, you know we do group coaching, high performance coaching every month. If you're working with me one-on-one, you know we're pushing this for you. If you feel like there's something more for you, and you feel like, dude, I'm chugging along in life, but I'm not feeling what you're feeling, how do I get that? We got you. I'm more than happy to send you, no charge, I will send it to you, I'll gift it to you, I'll buy it for you, high performance habits to get you started on that. This gift is for anybody. So if you're in our mastery community and want high performance habits, Kindle version, hardcover, whatever it is for you, let me know. If you're in our master community and you know that somebody you know wants it, let me gift it to them. We'll qualify that as one gift per person. Like if you say, I don't need it because I already got it, but could you gift it to this person? My husband, my wife, my brother, my sister, my best friend. Happy to do that. Please let me know. Comment below, or better yet, email me. If you got my number, text me. Just let me know. I'm happy to do that because I know what this can do for you to feel better about life, to feel more connected, more joyful, more vibrant, more energized. What does it feel like if you bust through the door after a full day of work? Coming out of your home office if you're in quarantine, or coming through the door after a full day of work, whatever it is for you, and you're like, I got energy and abundance, let's rock. I'm ready to go. That's the aspect of what we're trying to accomplish here through this strategery, we'll call it. Is that a word? Strategery to go after this for you. I love this stuff so much, and I'm so excited that you're here with me. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to support you, take care of you, love on you, challenge you, coach you to better today's, tomorrow's, and futures for you, those you care for, those you love, your friends, your family, your team, whatever it is, and the world. We're all connected, and it's the ripple effect at play here. So like I said, these 5 Ps, think about it. If you answer, these are the things that I did that kind of happened, that I felt purposeful with this, I felt passionate doing that, I felt positivity doing this, I felt productive going after that, I actually created some income doing this. And you want to manifest more of that? Strategically put it into your future calendar. We're going to be talking that through today. Is that helpful? So good. So good. Always remember, though, the big theme we've started with, too. When we win the moments of our day, we win the day. When we win the day, we win our week. When we win our week, we win the month. Win the month, we win the year. We win the year, we win our life. So it's in the moments. I'm going to share, as I mentioned, things that I'm thinking about differently now. And I'll give you actual things you can write down and take notes on that are great questions that I'm thinking about throughout the day that keep me course corrected towards the 5 Ps. That'd be helpful? That being said, this ends the perspective part of our work today, the 5 Ps. If you want to take that and make that tactical, put the 5 Ps in a spreadsheet: purpose, passion, positivity, productivity, profit, if profit's important to you, meaning self-created profit, or living into your means if you have a job, and then put dates. 1/15, 1/30, like middle and the end of the month, or every week, every Saturday, whatever that is for you. And then just rate yourself. 0, not feeling this at all. 10, crushing it. Or in the cell, in a spreadsheet, write what you did to feel purposeful. I took my daughter out to dinner. I created a new ebook. That might be passion. I did something positive. I talked to my neighbor and helped them with something. Whatever it is. And then just reflect on that every week. Add to it, either ratings or things you did. Can you imagine, over the course of 4 weeks, if you're doing it weekly, how much you're going to sense as you reflect on it, that you've moved things forward in these 5 areas, and how important that'll be for your well-being and your mental, emotional, spiritual. And if it's physical, meaning purpose for me is exercise. Went out on a run today. I'm going to be doing it in 2 days. Every other day I'm out running, going after it so I can feel the good energy and bring it to you. This energy isn't on by accident. It's because I've gone through and done the things we teach, train, and coach to make sure that I'm here for you. Is that exciting? So that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the training today. The very first thing, and I already touched on this, but I want you to think this through. Do you have a map? And is that map laid out in such a way where you have some of that map for your life is being selfish in a good way, and other part of that map is being selfless in a really great way? Let's break that down. In my world, I have a map. It's documented in the form of a schedule that says if I'm taking care of me, that's the selfish part, here's what I'm doing. I'm running every other day. I'm out walking. I'm connecting with family. I'm taking time to take care of me. And I've got that documented, and I treat that time as sacred time for me. I've also got time documented multiple blocks, time blocks, as we call them in high performance, towards helping others. You would not believe, and we're going to cover this in our business mastery training, the schedule that I have and the amount of load that I have on me, and I still have a lot of free time because of the power of these maps, these schedules. So my question for you is, do you have a map in the form of a schedule or whatever that is for you for your life, so you feel a fully lived life, where you have certain things you're doing on a daily or weekly and during basis that are helping you be the best you can be? Some people, just as a self-report out illustratively for you, they're like, yes, I'm doing yoga every day, stretching every day. I'm going on a run every other day. This is me. And then on those other days, I'm working out or moving around somehow. And I'm owning it. When I'm on the run, some days I'm listening to empowering music. Other days I'm listening to empowering podcasts. Some days I'm not listening to anything at all except nature. But I'm connected and engaged. That's part of my map. On the selfless side, what are you doing if this is important to you to help the world be better somehow? Do you have time allocated for that? Is it consistent? These are really critical questions in the week and a day in the life of a fully purposeful, passionate, positive, productive, and, if it matters, profitable being on this planet. Does that make sense? If you do not have a map, that's what today's all about. We're going to create that map together. How you feel about that? But what I want to make sure we kicked off right out of the gate is the selfish versus selfless conversation. And selfish is not, hopefully, you're sensing that it does not have a negative connotation the way we're using it. Selfish simply means when I have a scheduled event with me, in my schedule it says, at this date and this time I'm going to spend time on this project for me, deep work, working on one thing. We've talked about this in previous trainings. If you need books for that, my favorites, Deep Work is the name of the book, Cal Newport. Thank you so much, Cal. I'll link to that below. The One Thing by Gary Keller really helps us understand, paired with Cal's work, that we are set up in a world that's loaded with distraction, right down to our, as Elon Musk calls it, we are cyborgs, basically. We have digital extensions of our being. They just happen to be in a phone, not connected to us, meaning not part of our skin. Our phone is a digital extension of us, and boy, can it be distracting. Or it can be enlightening and uplifting and helpful towards us living a full life. And I'll be breaking that down for you as I get into some of the work today. Do we have that time scheduled for us? Are we living into it consistently? If you are not, here's what we've got for you. As part of our Create Success for Life movement, we're really aiming to assure you have weekly accountability on moving things forward. If you've ever heard the term laser coaching, that's where you say, hey, you know what? Lucas, Charlie, the co-founders of Create Success for Life. I see you, Lucas, rocking it out, man. We're actually going after it. So good that every week you can say, here's what I'm committed to. By next Wednesday, we have our weekly Zooms, or real quick hit Zooms, just for accountability and quick Q&A, that you can be helped on a weekly basis to move things forward. I love the way Frank Kern teaches us. Frank Kern is one of the instructors, a great guy overall, just hilarious, by the way, that taught Brendan Burchard, one of our master coach and certified high performance coach, certified high performance coaching. He taught him how to market online. And Brendan tells this amazing story. I'll go down a little side story for you, where Brendan takes a suitcase full of his products, his DVDs and his books and everything, and rolls into Frank's place in California, in La Jolla, and he says, walks in and there's pot smoke coming out. And Brendan's like, whoa! And he goes, dude, you're scaring me with the stuff. Get digital. And that was Brendan's story about how he had to transition. But one of the things Frank teaches, outside of how to live a fun life, we'll call it, and demonstrates that as a role model and results expert. But one of the things he teaches is focus on one thing. He calls it the Sandor method, if I remember right. And it's focus on one thing and its completion. And what we're aiming for with Create Success for Life along that lens is assuring if you need to take care of you and get selfish so you can be selfless, that's what we've got. You get in laser coaching is where you focus on one thing. You don't come back to our weeklies until you've got that thing done or move forward. That's laser coaching. The focus on one thing. Can you imagine if you were supported and challenged and you had to account to us on a weekly basis to move something forward, and you did that 52 times a year, right? You were in every year. 52 things move forward. This week I'm going to work on sleep. Next week I'm going to work on hydration. Next week I'm going to work on hobbies. Whatever that is, and just move that forward. That's what we've got for you. That's what CS for Life is. It's the baby step to a lot of our other work here in the mastery community. We're talking at much deeper degrees of depth. We have our sacred Zoom roundtables where we're sharing and helping each other and guiding each other above and beyond what we're doing with our quick hit CS for Life Zooms with Q&A and a little bit of, well, accounting and Q&A. That's the thing. That's the focus. That's the goal. So I just want to make sure you know about that. So hopefully we've laid the land here for you. So that being said, the next thing that I want to make sure of is that you have very clear ideas on your thoughts, your beliefs, and the actions that demonstrate it. You know, we've always, I don't know if you've heard this, but I've always said this. It's great that that person's saying those things, but what's the actions they're taking? So we're walking the walk, or are we talking the talk? Are you walking the walk, or are you talking the talk? So the challenge for you is to really consider, what is it that I'm thinking on an enduring basis? As Dr. Phil, the first time I ever heard it, what's the tape playing in our head? What's that language? What are the questions we're asking ourselves? Are they uplifting, future-oriented, or are they neutral, negative? Are they hindering us from living a full life? Does that all make sense? So what we have to challenge ourselves for is positive, ambitious questions. And I got plenty for you. You're going to love it. Thoughts, beliefs, action. Let's park that for just a minute and let's live into creating your life anthem. Because what I've discovered, and I was in a coaching call earlier this week with a gal I've been coaching for 4.5 years. 4.5 years. And we talked through life anthems this week. What we determined was the life anthem, once defined, is our fuel for our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. Does that make sense? If it doesn't, don't worry, I'm going to break it down for you. My life theme for this year, 2022, and it may be my life theme for next year and beyond, is joyful curiosity. And I put it up here for you, joyful curiosity. What does that mean when we break down joyful and we break down curiosity? The joyful piece means in order for me to live into that, which kind of, you can see how it connects to the 5 Ps, is that I have to have my sleep. I have to have, hydration, be good at hydrating. I've got to be eating nutrient-rich most of the time, taking my vitamins, minerals, supplements. I've got to be clear about exercise, living into that. Otherwise, I could be a grump. Yeah, 2 nights with not enough sleep, grump. So we're really living into that aspect of it. The curiosity piece means that I'm active listening. I call this a trifecta of awesome. That you're active listening to hear, not listening to reply necessarily. That you're asking great questions that facilitate co-creation. And that you're bringing great energy. Imagine if that's your theme and every day you connect with it. And you're like, what am I doing to facilitate towards those ends? What are my thoughts? What are my beliefs? What are my actions? Does that make sense? So I'd love for you to take a moment. And if you already have one, please share it. If you're watching us live, go ahead and share in the comments. If you're watching the replay, share it there as well. What is or could be your life anthem? And feel free to copy mine and start there. And maybe you copy mine and live into it. That's totally cool too. I'm not connected to it. It's not like I'm going to feel offended. I'm going to feel blessed that you're taking it and running with it. But what could it be for you as you think through your life anthem? So let me break down for you in what I call the needle movers. These are powerful questions that have shifted, as I promised from the beginning of our training, over the last decade, that I've taken out of my head bad questions and put in great questions. So throughout the day, I've memorized these questions. These are my situational needle movers. We'll get into what needle movers are in just a minute. And here's the questions that I ask. And if you're taking notes, please write some of these down if they resonate. Am I being intentional right now? So in this moment that you and I are sharing, am I being intentional with you right now? Do you feel it? The way I think that through, am I living into my purpose? And my purpose, just so you're clear, is to help you from where you're at to where you want to be. And you may not be dreaming big enough, so I got to help ignite that. I hope I've been doing a good job for you, especially with the 5 Ps, to go after that. Second question, am I living into or being distracted from my purpose right now? I just shared what my purpose was. Third question, what has happened, what is happening that could be a lesson to serve others? What opportunity presented itself that could be an illustration, a story, or a lesson to serve others? So I'm looking for stories throughout my day. And I got great ones from my coaching call this week where we talked about, am I having enough fun? That's her theme. Charly, every session we hit, we're in our almost 5 years, our 4th year of coaching. Please ask me right out of the gate or as soon as we start our call, within the first 5 minutes, are you having fun in life? And break it down. And she said, I'm having fun and here's how. And she's got that, but she has to answer to that. That's a big part of this accountability piece that we're trying to aim for with Create Success for Life. Am I living into my daily and weekly needle movers? So, I have situational needle movers, which are things I think about throughout the day, checklist format. I have daily needle movers, things that I need to do at least once a day. And then I have weekly needle movers. And that's on this clipboard. And I love visuals, so that's why they're on clipboards. Does that all make sense? So these are the thoughts and the belief. Now when I think about the beliefs, which I don't have listed here, but my belief is every human on this planet has the ability to live a full, vibrant life. Another belief is I'm the facilitator and inspiration, motivation, and coach for that. And I got to do my job to do that. That's why we have literally 5 videos a week now coming out on YouTube. 5 videos. One's on Create Success for Life on Wednesdays. One's on Life Mastery on Mondays. Business on Tuesdays. Cryptocurrency, I think, is on Thursdays. And then we have other segments of training. Oh, on my life, when we can get out and move around again, I'll be doing vlogs, which I have a bunch on already, of Switzerland and so on, in Naples, Florida. And then I also have computer gaming. Sharing and streaming the things that we're doing in the space that's just amazing right now in the land of computer gaming. Of course, connecting that to the metaverse, where games you can make money from through cryptocurrencies, blah, blah, blah. And that may be way over your head. That's why I got the cryptocurrency thing happening. There's a link for that below. I got a lot going on. But these are the things I'm thinking of through the day. Can you imagine the things I'm not thinking of through the day? Think of the questions I'm not asking myself because I'm asking myself these. And I would just put that into your world. What are the questions you're asking yourself throughout the day? The old version of me would have been like, should I play Angry Birds or should I play, what was the other game I was playing? Pac-Man. I used to play Pac-Man on my phone and Tetris a lot. As time passes. I took out all my games a few years ago and I put in Apple Notes. Back then it was actually Evernote. And instead of playing games when I'm on my phone, I'm either listening to a podcast or I'm going through my notes and just getting them back integrated. And I have a connection for that. To truly reconnect or reset and recharge, I'm watching, fun podcasts or listening to fun podcasts, watching fun videos or TikTok. TikTok's my thing. And I don't spend a lot of time on it, but I do spend time going into it to really connect with just funny stuff, which is a huge part of the high performance lifestyle. There's a lot of fun, positive energy involved. So the challenge for you right now, I'm loading it on heavy, is do you have documented a list of questions that you should be asking yourself throughout the day? And I say should because when I first did this, these were not the questions that were going through here. This was about 2013. So 8 years ago? Yeah, 8 years ago. These were not the questions that were going through, 9 years ago, I guess. These were not the questions that were going through my head, but I practiced them. And now I'm just loaded, going after it, waking up, on fire, more often than not, like 90% of the time. And these are some of the things going on. Now, in high performance coaching, we define a clarity chart. So I'm going to give you a few more illustrations here. And in that clarity chart, we define 3 words that are the best of us. And my words are present, joyous, and bold. And bold means courageous. Saying what needs to be said, helping others, and I'm like, should I say something? Yeah, I should. And really pushing for growth. Not for conflict, but for growth. So one of my questions, am I being present, joyous, and bold right now? Have I been? Will I be? You feel this? Is it feeling too much work? This is the thoughts, beliefs, and actions. I have a note. I have my phone with me. I'm pointing this over there. I have my phone with me and I'm taking notes throughout the day of what I want to move forward and what I want to push. And with my phone there, I'm either hitting voice memo and talking to myself or I'm saying it as a transcribe, because you can do that on the phone as well, where you just go into a note and you say, transcribe what I say, and it goes, spits it out. And I'm putting it in there so I don't forget it. The gold that can happen when I'm out on a walk or a run or wherever it is. Am I living into my strengths? Can anything be delegated or deleted? These are just some of the questions with the situational needle movers that all come from my beliefs and my actions, or shown through my actions. I hope you sense how this really builds the case for joyful curiosity. Is that helpful? So I just want to make sure that we're giving you a lot of illustration in today's training, and you're clear on this. So far, as we think through what we've covered, your life theme connected through the 5 Ps around making sure you take care of yourself so you can take care of others through a map, meaning that there's a behavioral rhythm involved. You know, the FBI, they'll profile people. I did a study on this quite a few years ago now. They'll profile people, and they're like, humans aren't that hard to figure out. They're living in rhythms. They're living in automated sequences, habits. And they're just trying to figure out the habits that people have, and they can sort people out. Where they're going, where they're not going, what they're doing, what they're, committed to, what things they're viewing online, what things their stores they're going to, all these kind of things, and making sure that we're dialing that in. So we just want to be real clear about the map. What you're doing to take care of you, what you're doing to take care of others. And can you amplify that? Can you 10x that? Can you make that world class? Big part of this. Thoughts, beliefs, and action. That being said, we've talked about power questions, and I got 5 new ones for you, and I want to make sure we get you started in the best possible way. Here they are. Grab them real quick. So just a few ideas for you to really go through and push setting up your week, setting up your day. I would challenge you to add this as a daily practice. If you already are doing the high performance planner or your 1-page productivity plan, add this into the practice. If you're doing the high performance journal, at least the high performance journal, where you're really articulating how you want to feel in your day, these are some great questions. As you go through and do things throughout your day, ask this first question. How is this helping me grow? Or how is it helping me reset? Or how is it helping me relax? Can you imagine asking that throughout your day? The pivot. So many people are like asking really bad questions. What's the next thing I'm going to do? What am I going to eat? What am I going to do for me? And they're not asking it like that, but all right, I played my phone. And they're in that kind of reactive state. But how is this helping me grow? How is this helping me reset? How is this helping me relax? What can I do to help myself grow? What can I do to reset? What can I do to relax? Second item, can I share this with others and help them with their life? I've covered many times what I call the Trifecta of Awesome. Trifecta of Happiness, excuse me. Trifecta of Happiness is where you're learning new things, creating from what you've learned, sharing it, and you just cycle through that. And that's what so many thought leaders and coaches are doing today. They're living in the Trifecta of Happiness. Learning new things, creating from what they've learned, sharing it. So today's context is pretty easy. You learn something new, you share it, or create something from it. It could be a blog post, a tweet, a social media update, and then you press post and you've shared it. Hey guys, I just read this book and here's 3 lessons that I learned and I would love to share this with you. Tell me if you got anything out of it. Have any of you read this book? Totally different than, hey, here's my latest thing that I've done for me, This the big part of social that you have a voice, use it to empower others. I'm not going to go into the neutral negative. I just don't want to think that way. Big part of this work today. Third question, how can I create even more fun in my life today, this week, and in the future? I'm going to say that again. If you're taking notes, make sure you grab that. How can I create even more fun in my life today, this week, and in the future? So think that through. What does that look like? And if you're struggling here, go back through the timeline of your life. Pull out maybe in the last month or in the last year where you've had the most fun. What are some things you've done to have the most fun? Some things that come to mind for me is playing Mexican train dominoes, playing Uno, although we haven't done that in quite a while, playing blackjack, going after that. So how can I create even more fun in my life today, this week, and in the future? So many people I've mentioned that a couple of people I coach have said, Char, when we check in, ask me, did I have enough fun this week? Am I having fun in life? That's the premise. This is a great question to ask on the situational level for you and of those around you, if you're up for it, to really forward that. Fourth, how do I want to feel and how do I want you to feel? We talk a lot about this in high performance. The whole premise of the high performance planner, the high performance journal, living a life where we're engaged, joyful, and confident is about commanding and thinking through how we want to feel. And I love the 4 feelings. So if you have your notes out, please take notes on this. When you consider anything, whether that's a meeting with somebody, whether that's going on a trip, whether that's a vacation, consider the very first question. How do I want to feel about this trip as I'm thinking about it? The anticipation of it. Second question. How do I want to feel when I'm doing it? Third question. How do I want to feel once it's complete? The moment it ends, how do I want to feel? And then reverse engineer for that. Does that make sense? The fourth question is one of the most powerful. How do I want to feel as I think back on this as a future memory? Let me say that again because this is critical towards engineering a ton of fun. How do I want to feel as I think back on this as a future memory? Those are the 4 feelings. How do I want to feel as I'm thinking about it, anticipating it? How do I want to feel as I'm doing it? How do I want to feel as it's completed the moment it's done? How do I want to feel as I think back onto the future memory? And I can tell you, you can apply that into the week, into your day. How do I want to feel as I go into tomorrow? How do I want to feel as the day is going on? What happens if I fall off course? How can I recalibrate, reconnect, rejuvenate? How do I want to feel as tomorrow ends? How do I want to feel as I think back on tomorrow as a future memory? You sense the power here? So gold. So that was a bonus set of questions within the 4th question. And the 5th, this is something that Sir Patrick of Wisdom for Humanity and I think a lot about. How does this create a legacy? Every one of these videos that I create, these training videos, I pull clips from, put it out on YouTube, public. They create long-term legacy. Because if I'm no longer on this beautiful planet, people can go back and hopefully get a little inspiration. I know there's a ton of videos out there, but at least the people in my circles, my family, those kind of things. Those are 5 power questions, and I want to make sure we covered those for you. So I would love for you to think through questions that you might be able to ask or might be able to add to that. So as you're gathering, I hope you've sensed this. If you're a coach, you already know this. I hope. Is the power of questions is everything towards the quality of life. Note that. Take a note on that. The power of questions is everything towards your quality of life. The questions we ask ourselves, the thoughts, beliefs, and the actions we take as part of our answers are everything towards our quality of life. You feel it? So good. So we've covered the first 3. Let's step into number 4. And that is taking all this information. I would love for you to think about creating, and I've covered this in previous trainings, I believe, your vision, and this could be, I'll show you mine in just a minute, fun, freedom, and adventure. Vision board. So I just redid mine for 2022. I'm going to grab it. Ugh. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe what I'll do in the replay is I'll take a picture of it and I'll put it in. It's not complete. I've got openings here. Other things that I want to do for fun, freedom, adventure. So this is a vision for a life fully lived. That's what it says here. A life fully lived, full of fun, full engagement, and joy. So there's places. Atlanta. If you follow me on Instagram, you know we go to Atlanta. Try to go at least once a year, maybe twice a year. Colorado, Tampa, and Miami. Also there is 10Ks. I'm going to start adding to my every other day run, doing 10Ks. Next is blackjack, bourbon and blackjack. We're having these bourbon and blackjack parties where we do these trials of bourbon while we're enjoying blackjack. Sarasota and the islands around Sarasota. So where I live in Southwest Florida, Sarasota is about 2 hours north. But there's St. Armand's Circle and different islands over there that I haven't visited in over a decade that are so much fun to adventure and find new and novel things. In the middle, huge one, Big Red, date night. Family fun time. Beach, books, and brunch. Lakes Park, the park that's right by where the Studio in the Sky is that I'm running in, enjoying on a daily basis. So I have Lakes Park daily. Game and movie nights. Video games with friends. Big part, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen, I built a gaming computer. Big part of that is getting the headset on, having blasts with my high school buddies and my bro. Trifecta of happiness. You covered it, and it's right here, and I got a little diagram right there. Learning new things, creating what I've learned, and sharing them. Down here, novelty, newness, and passion. So I've taken a lot of what we've covered here and injected it into here. What am I doing to create those things, right? Another one, cryptocurrency. Is that something about that? Just the lens through which I've been a computer programmer, times I've been in investing and active trading for the last decade, well, 15 years. It just meshes all of that together. some ambitious parts, NFTs, mining, and more. So studying the application, the different things that can be part of my cryptocurrency journey that I'm sharing in our monthly program. And again, if you're interested in that, we have weekly updates coming out every week. Every Sunday, I try to put up a weekly update where I share some of my notes, some of the best trainings or best philosophical updates. Another area is VR, virtual reality. Got the Oculus Quest 2. It's my new profile on Facebook if you haven't seen it. And leveraging that to understand what this could mean as we evolve life to be part of the metaverse, as they're calling it. If you have no frame of reference for VR, no worries. The one movie I would challenge you to watch, just so you can get an idea where this can go, and it's not in a necessarily good direction in the movie, but the fun of it can be construed as to what it looks like with reality, is Ready Player One. Ready Player One can kind of demonstrate. A lot of people that are like, I don't understand the metaverse, like, go watch Ready Player One and we'll talk. So that's a good one. And I talk about this here, but I'm going to talk about it on this, Fitness Plus. So with the Apple Watch, a big part of my fun, freedom, and adventure is stretching more, because I've noticed that I'm not stretching enough through yoga, Pilates, and some of the other exercises that they have in the Apple Fitness One program, or Fitness Plus program, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. Another area is beach, brunch, and blackjack. Notice beach, books, and brunch. Beach, brunch, and blackjack. A lot of B's. But going to the beach, learning new things, reading a book, playing blackjack. And then finally, on here is streaming. So streaming in the context of when I'm playing games, I'm talking it through as I'm playing. And also in my streams, you'll be hearing me talk through some high performance principles as I'm doing that. So we'll give it a test and see what happens, but these are just some of the things I'm doing to have fun, freedom, and adventure in life. So my challenge for you is you think this through. Will you create? I like the colors, but would you create on 11 by 17 piece of paper? Would you create your fun, freedom, and adventure vision for 2022? And if you would you share it with me? That is exciting. I'm looking for ideas. So good. So fun, freedom, and adventure leads to the needle movers. And what I mean is when you create that vision and you've done the work here, 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 now we can piecemeal it into things we need to be thinking about through the day. That's what we call, or I call, situational needle movers. Things that we need to do at least once a day. That's our daily needle movers. Things we need to do at least once a week. That's our weekly needle movers. Things we need to do once a month, once a quarter, once a year. So you have individual, I like documents or notes. You notice that I have situation on one sheet, daily on another, and weekly on another. Individual pages, individual Word docs, individual notes and Apple Notes. That's where I have mine. And that says, here's what I need to be thinking about throughout the day. Those questions. Here's what I need to do throughout the day. And let me give you context for that. So on the daily basis, some of the things that are coming up here, sleep at least 7.5 to 9 hours each night. And I measure it through the Oura Ring. We'll talk about the tools I use in a minute. Hydration, 1 to 2 insulated bottles of water with me. Drinking throughout the day. What I realized is I wasn't drinking enough when I first got in high performance, and I had dull headaches. So having that around me within arm's reach, guess what I do? I drink it. Eating nutrient rich, vitamins, nutrients, minerals. Making sure that I'm taking my supplements. Taking breaks throughout the day to reflect, reset, get my bands filled on my watch. You got to be up every hour, moving around for 1 minute. That's what the Apple Watch, the blue band in the Apple Watch activity app shows you. And I'm living into that, which is exactly what we teach in high performance, except it's more than a minute, usually. Then I'm meditating at least 5 minutes throughout the day, at least once throughout the day. These are things that if I do these things and I live into them, I feel my best to live into my life theme. Is that helpful? That's the magic of having this documented. Now, of course, you can have it documented and not do it, right? But we're trying to build the case for why you want to do these things. And I hope we've been successful. When we think about that's how we want to feel, and that's who we want to be, that can be enough catalyst for you to live into these. When we think about busting through the door with energy, in abundance after a full day work, that can be the catalyst for these things. Is that helpful? So take a moment, breathe this out. Really think about what we've covered here. We've gone through you taking care of you so you can take care of others. Defining the map for that through the lens of a life theme. Forward thinking, going after who you want to be. your thoughts, beliefs, and action, tied to these power questions that you're asking the right things of yourself. If this feels wonky or way out of whack for you, that's how it felt for me 10 years ago. But I got into that. My life completely pivoted. So many of the beautiful souls I've had the honor of coaching, theirs have as well. So that's the excitement of this. Fun, freedom, and adventure. Defining your vision for that. And then kind of architecting your dream life. What are we doing throughout the day? What are we thinking about? What do we need to do at least once a day to really live into this? What do we need as we go back through this list for Atlanta? What do we need to think about scheduling at least once a year or twice a year to live into that? Then applying the feelings on it. Okay, when we're there, here's how I want to feel as I think about it. Here's how I want to feel when I'm there. I want to run through Piedmont Park. I want to go to the Beltline. I want to go to Ponce City. I want to hit these things. And I want to feel the fun and adventure of that. I want to bring some people that I love with me, and we'll go after that. I want to meet some friends that live in Atlanta too. Maybe we'll see a show or a concert or something like that. That's the aspect of this. And then what do you want to do as you look back on it as a future memory? This is really good about living into what we teach in high performance, about defining how you want to feel as you go through your life, your week, your day, your year. Is that helpful? So we define our needle movers. This is where the week in the life of comes into play. And so far I've shared my situational and some of my daily needle movers with you. In our business mastery training, I'll be breaking this down and sharing with you how I approach my work week and have a harmony in life. I don't like the word balance, but I like the word harmony, where I'm doing certain things for personal and certain things for professional, endeavors, and then coming back around and feeling good, being wiped out by the time my head hits the pillow, and getting up and doing it all over again. So I'll break that down for you from that perspective. Really good. Next up, high performance. And this kind of sums up what we just talked through. Let's get the right color marker. Is the senses and feelings. We spent quite a bit of time on the feelings aspect of this, but as we go through and define our week, and we define our day, and we document it, and I'm going to share with you how I kind of tie it all together in just a minute, we talk through the senses. What I'm going to smell. And I think about that, I'm in Lakes Park, and I'm smelling this sweet almond tree. That's amazing. The white flower. I can't even think of it. Hibiscus. The hibiscus tree, I'm smelling that when it's in bloom. Smelling all the flowers that are in the park. They have a whole garden in there. Botanical garden. The other idea is what we're listening to. Podcasts, good music, things that inspire us. What are we eating, tasting, and how are we planning for that on a weekly or monthly basis? And immediately when I say that to you, it's lasagna Chibo. It's Continental's burger. Don't have it often, but when I do, it's super tasty. That's down on 5th or 3rd Street in Naples. Bar Tullia's Pizza. Those kind of things. And putting that into our calendar and scheduling for those with people we enjoy being with. Or by ourselves if you want to do it that way. But we're talking through the senses and we're understanding how we want to feel as we move through this. Does that all make sense? So we're really trying to define how we want to feel, what we want to do, and then putting it into play as an architected map of our life. Is this helpful? I know I'm throwing a ton at you. So when we think about one page for our situational needle movers, one page for our daily needle movers, one page for our weekly needle movers, monthly, quarterly, and yearly, and then we go through those and list the things out. Now what I've done is I've taken my weekly, my monthly, quarterly, and yearly needle movers and I mapped them in my calendar so that every Saturday at 7 a.m. every Saturday I do my weekly needle movers. On the first of every month, the first Saturday of every month, at 8 o'clock I'm doing my monthly needle movers. And that also includes things like maintaining some servers that I have with my other business. It includes taking care of things that need to be done on a monthly basis in the high-rise condo I live in, like the air conditioning filter, these kind of things. Checking the oil in my car, just a big part of that. Sometimes it says you need to add oil. These are just some of the things that are in there. I don't have to think about it because it's all there, right? On the quarterly basis, that's January, April, July, and October at 8:30, I'm going through and I have a scheduled event for that. And on a yearly basis, that's the first Saturday of the month, and it's a 2-hour time block, 10 a.m. is my yearly needle movers. Get all the information I can for taxes. Go through, reflect on the year. Develop my new, and I'm pointing to it, fun, freedom, and adventure vision board. These kind of things. All mapped out. Is this helpful as we bring this all together for you? Kind of tie it up? Keeping in mind the senses and the feelings. And I put HP, baby. High performance, baby. So what we're trying to accomplish here is map the dream week and have a runway for flow. Let me break that down for you. One of the things I determined as I was mapping my week is that I'm not good with one of the principles we teach in high performance, and that is 50-minute time blocks. The way I interpreted it originally was 50 minutes for this project, take a 5-minute break or 10-minute break, 50 minutes for this project. What I love to have are days, and typically it's my bookends, Monday and Friday, where I've got 3-hour time blocks that are just for me to focus on one thing, full focus in flow. In that time block though, I do usually get up, move around, take a break. But I needed runway for flow. Does that make sense? Runway to really go after. So often we get into the first hour of that and we hit the note where the alarm would go off. It'd be like, time for your break. I'm like, oh, I just got into the flow of this. So I would challenge you, if you don't have runway for flow, is to pocket time blocks into your week for that. And that's where you're deeply thinking about, for me, it's deeply thinking about this training for you. It's deeply going after the plan and strategy of a launch. Deeply going after opt-in pages. Deeply thinking about what we're trying to accomplish with certain endeavors. Or going through and reorganizing my stuff. I don't have a lot of stuff, but every once in a while I do take time to clean. The Marie Kondo method is really powerful. To go through, to kind of do a sweep of your rooms, looking for things that bring you joy and things that you find useful. And everything else gets put in a storage box, taken to Goodwill or Salvation Army or recycled or whatever. Does that make sense? So these are runways of flow. So my question for you as we think this through is, do you have that stuff scheduled? And if your answer is no, don't feel bad. There's no judgment here. We're just trying to really help you forward that as we think this through. If you need help, that's your bonus. Every week we're doing our Q&A and Create Success for Life. Information on that's below, where we can help you move forward on that. If you're in our master community, you already know. We have check-in calls. I've been checking in with so many as we start 2022. And we also have the ability for you to go through in our Zoom roundtables. And I would challenge you to ask for help in our Zoom roundtables because the replays of that are really helpful for others. Is that helpful? Does that make sense? This is a big part of mapping it out. So let me go through this one more time just to make sure it lands for you as we think through the training aspect of today. Your map contains segments, if you will, of you taking care of you, you helping others. So there should be time in there for you to reflect, reset, rejuvenate, exercise, whatever that is for you, meditate, yoga, Apple Fitness, those kind of things, in time for you to go out and help others. Tuesdays through Thursdays are my days that I'm coaching, teaching, training, filming videos typically. Every second Saturday of every month, it's my day to really serve and help for our mastery community. Fourth Wednesday of every month, it's my day to high performance coach. It's my day to really go through and help mastery community with our sacred Zoom roundtables. Thoughts, beliefs, and action. I think we covered that in pretty good detail with the situational needle movers and the power of those questions. And I gave you 5 new ones to really sit and think about, journal on. And I would challenge you to open journal on those questions. And that means that you maybe one question per page, maybe it's on a little notepad, and you journal to it today and spend 5 minutes tomorrow looking it over, adding to it, maybe erasing stuff or in a Word document or a note, whatever that is for you. Let your brain go with it. You're going to have, over the course of a week, some really good answers for these things. Fourth, fun, freedom, and adventure. That's where you lay out your big vision. And I do that graphically, like with colored markers and everything. Some people have actually drawn out. I'm flying kites, they'll draw out kites. I'm going to the beach and they'll draw that out. Those kind of things. But just get the vision there. And then filter that down into your needle movers. To live that life, what do I need to think about scheduling? On a monthly, quarterly, go back to weekly, daily, even throughout the day, schedule, or yearly. If it's an event where you're going somewhere, if it's a daily thing, whatever that is, think through those 4 feelings. What am I anticipating about this? How do I want to feel as I'm doing it? At the end of it, how do I want to feel? And then as I reflect back on it as a future memory, how do I want to feel? Does that make sense? Senses and feelings are everything. Map the dream week. Create your pockets for runways of flow. If you need help developing your strategy. That's what our Zoom roundtable is for. So we'll get into that and make sure we own that for you. Make sure you ask for help as well. If you're in our master community, you know our Zoom roundtable, we'll be having that in a couple hours. We'll be owning that for you, taking care of you. So let's go through the tools that I use. And this has been streamlined over the course of the last 2 years to be just what I need and not much more. So when I'm doing the learning mode of the Trifecta of Happiness, I'm typically using my iPad and I'm using the app Flipboard and Reddit. Sometimes TikTok, but Flipboard and Reddit. This really serves as good catalyst for curated content and real life content. That's Reddit. Curated content is Flipboard. For me to really get more articulation and knowledge and wisdom to share. And that gets filtered into my weekly wisdom emails, which is, if you're in our master community, you should be getting those automatically every Sunday. We usually send those out. And that is life, business, online, quick hits, curated content. Then we have a deeper dive of what to watch and what to listen to. And that's the sort of catalyst for that. I'm doing that anyway, so I'm just kind of putting that out in the world. These are the tools I use for that. The MBA is the MacBook Air, and that's what I'm using to do typing and to create launches and stuff like that. To do my coaching, I'm doing that on the MacBook Air. So those are the two tools that I have, and they've been working out really, really well for the last decade. The other thing I want to make sure of is that I've switched to Apple Notes, which is right here, and that's where I do all my curation. That's where I do my note-taking. That's where I lay out the outlines for our trainings. That's where I draw on the iPad. The cool thing, and I shared this a couple trainings back, is that you can draw on your iPad in a note and it automatically shows up in your Apple Note on your computer. So I have the iPad over here and my computer over here, and I'll be taking notes. And if I need to draw anything, I'll draw it over here and it automatically shows up right in that spot in the note. It's a really great way because I like to draw as well as take notes. So for that piece, the Aura Ring is really critical for me to really, and it's since I've gotten it August of 2020, it's really helped me understand where I need to dial in sleep. I thought I was doing great, but I found a couple of things, takeaways. One is that my heart rate's typically lower than average. Okay, cool. That's just that's how I'm built. My HRV for my age, the heart rate variability, is much higher than the average, which is really good. That means I'm living healthy. The Aura Ring also shows the quality of sleep: deep sleep, light sleep, REM sleep, and when you're awake. So you're able to see this kind of as a real-time replay of how you slept last night. And then you can kind of assess what you did to set up a great night's sleep and how, dial in the amount of sleep that you actually get. Really helps you. And I love the phrase, test and measure, improve and remove. Test and measure, improve and remove. The Aura Ring helps with that. In the last few months, I've added the Apple Watch. And this has really helped me to really dial in moving, taking those breaks, which I was already basically doing, but also making sure I'm hitting the notes on heart rate, hitting the elevated heart rate, at least as I talked about in our 2020 New Year's Day Jumpstart, hitting the heart rate, getting sweaty a couple times a week through running. That's how I go after cardio. And I'll work out in the gym as well, but the idea is at least 3-4 times a week now. Well, it's every other day, so however that works out. I'm hitting the heart rate, like getting near my max to really just blow things out, take care of me, as I'm really aiming to really own that energetic connection for the future. Does that all make sense? So these are a couple of tools that I use. If you want me to go into more detail on it and you're in our mastery community, let me know and we'll talk that through, and I'll show you on the big screen how that stuff can work, what kind of data it shares and those kind of things. Next up is the gaming computer. And this is a huge part of the reset, rejuvenate, relax, and help the world. So I'm connected, gaming headset on, with my brother typically and my great friends John and Todd, and we're playing games together. We're talking things through. And as I talked about for my vision board, I'll be streaming this so that you can see this in action and realize there's much more in the context for reality in the lens of what's going on in gaming right now. And what I mean by that is in Flight Simulator, if you go on my YouTube channel, and I'll link to that below, you'll see there's a whole playlist dedicated to me flying around different places in the world. And it is insanely real. The geography is real. The buildings are like copied through maps and then built through programs like instantly. The weather is exactly how it is outside. They've mapped real-time weather into it. You're talking to air traffic control. And it's not real air traffic control. There is a way to interface with real air traffic control, by the way, if you want to. Unbelievable. but you're able to experience it. And just recently, I got the goggles, and I was flying with the goggles on. Talk about exactly what it looks like. So good. Flew out of Fort Lauderdale, flew over Miami Beach, looked down on the beach, flew all the way across the bottom of Florida back to over this coast where I live, around Naples, and landed. And it was exactly it. It helped me understand what I have to think through with flaps, the whole shebang. This is all what's possible. For so many people, they don't live an ambitious life, would be the best way to put it. And this helps them. If they had an interest in flying at one time, this helps them really get into it. And you can fly legitimately, like 1-to-1 minutes from like New York and be the pilot and go to London. And you'll be controlling everything, and you can have it inject weather and spontaneous situations that aren't good for you to kind of navigate through those kind of things. So the gaming computer is a big part of this. The other aspect of the gaming computer, and I'll talk more about this in our next training, is the idea that I'm using it for mining and testing and measuring things in cryptocurrency that are passive revenue generators. And if you haven't heard it recently or at all, one of my life anthems is passive revenue equals personal freedom. So passive recurring revenue equals personal freedom. And that's a huge part of what's happening with some of this cryptocurrency work. Staking, mining, these kind of things. So I'll be breaking that down in our cryptocurrency training. I've already broken it down a little bit, but we're talking through and showing you that in action. And I'm using that gaming computer I just built for that. Next up is the big tool that I use. It was my number one purchase in the last 5 years, is the camera I'm looking at to see your beautiful face, the Panasonic Lumix GH5. That tool is everything. I can run, as you probably saw if you watch our New Year's Day Jumpstart, I can run live casts through it. It goes for hours. I can film trainings for it. I can do our monthly mastery training for it, as you know. I've been using that since 2017, I think. Maybe 2018, early 2018. And that's the main tool. I have a complete breakdown of the studio in the sky for you as at charlycaldwell2.com. So Charly Caldwell, CHARLY. I'll link to it below. Caldwell, the number 2.com. Shows you all the parts that I have and exactly how it's configured so that I'm living into these suckers at a max tilt. Does that make sense? So good. So the apps, I think we've gone over most of them. Apple Notes, YouTube, and TikTok. Those are used for me for lifestyle. Like I'll follow Elena and Riley, Kara and Nate, to just get variety in terms of what's possible for more in the vision, strategy, and planning of a fully lived life. But then I also use it for education. So I'm following Max Maher, Maher, for cryptocurrency mastery. I'm following Graham Stefan for financial. This kid is just amazing. He's 31, and he's just got good information flowing all the time. For tech, I'm following like iJustine. I'm following Linus Tech Tips. I'm following the Max Tech guys. There are a couple brothers that are putting together just great technical data videos for me when I'm helping people with tech and so on. So it's just a matter of using it as an educational channel, as a channel to relax. TikTok I have a highly curated list of amazing TikTok people in crypto, and amazing TikTok people in marketing, and amazing TikTok people in strategy, SEO, the whole shebang. So if you want any of that, come to our Zoom roundtable, and I'll be sharing that with you if you want it. Just make sure you let me know. Reddit, Flipboard, I talk through. Apple Books and Kindle for me to get into and read books for fun. The latest one I read was Nikki Sixx's The First 21. Then I read Dave Grohl's Storyteller, which was amazing. I don't know if that's the name of it. I think that's the name of the book. Dave Grohl's book. And that piece. And then Map My Run and Fitness Plus. They're the tools that I use to test and measure how well I'm running, how fast I'm running, how my heart rate's doing, those kind of things. So I just wanted to make sure that we gave you some meat here. This is all that I'm using up here to live through the 5 Ps. These are the apps that I typically use the most from that perspective. If you have an app to share that you think I'd be interested in or a master community would be interested in, please comment below and let me know. Would love that. So this ends the training part of our work today. We've gone through the big picture perspective. We've gone through the training aspect. Now let's set up your action list. This should be pretty easy and quick. Number 1, if we map this, this, and this into this, we have the be, do, have, give triangle. And my challenge for you is in each of those areas to first draw the triangle. Start with the top. Think through what we've covered here. Journal on who you want to be. What are the thoughts, beliefs, actions? What are the things you need to be thinking of through your day? What are the things you need to be thinking of weekly? What are the things you want to hold yourself accountable for at the end of a week or during the middle of a week with our Create Success for Life initiative? Next step, what are you doing? That's why it's in red, the action piece. What are you doing? What are you moving forward? And how is that mapping into your day? What do you have from that? So many people, they share, used to mean that I had the great car and the big house and all that. And now it means that I have more time for fun, freedom, family time, me doing what I love to do, beach time, bowling, boating, all that kind of stuff. And the last part, not too many people spend a lot of time here, but what are we giving? So when I look through the lens of all the work that I've done, and I think you can see that if you go to my YouTube channel, for example, or follow our blogs and our email sequencing, as I'm putting clips of this into the world to help people. Just little doses of things that can help people live a better life. Second, create your life anthem. So spend some time thinking through what I shared, joyful curiosity. Spend some time on yours. Maybe start there and work from there. What is it? If you don't have one and you're in our mastery community, let's build that for you in our Zoom Roundtable today. Third, create your vision. Go ahead and work on creating your version of this. Make it awesome. These are the things, the actions taken, the things that I want to be thinking about and doing on an enduring basis this year. Really, really cool. Or once or twice if we're talking about places. Fourth, architect your perfect day, your perfect week, your perfect month, your perfect quarter and year. And then think about throughout the day. The way that I have done that for me is through the needle movers. I'm pointing over to the clipboards. Situationally, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. If you need help with that, we'll do that workshop style in our Zoom Roundtable. We'll be happy to do that with you. Number 5, now journal on how you want to feel. I love that part because when you create this and you think about this through the lens of how you want to feel, on your feelings, amplification of feeling the full, vibrant life that we teach and coach in high performance. And number 6, really important, ties right to the bonus, co-create. Come to our Zoom Roundtable. Make sure you have your lists together of exactly what you want to do. We'll brainstorm together. If you just can't think of anything, I have that happen a lot. Sometimes it's helpful to start with what you know you don't want to do, and then we'll build from there the things that you may want to experience and go after. Co-creation is everything. That being said, thank you so incredibly much for being here. I hope this helps. Can't wait to see you in our Zoom Roundtable. Next up is our Business Mastery Training. We'll be diving deep, same topic, just through the lens of creating, sustaining, and building a business that helps others. Cool? Take care. Have a good one. Bye.